Nic November continues with a Tot household favorite, Gone in 60 Seconds, the remake that everyone hated. Nic Cage stars as Memphis, yes, Memphis Randall, because that helps, Reigns, a retired master car thief brought back into the game to save his kid brother from a generic European action villain. Along the way is a biggest cast of, hey, I know that guy.
Come with me.
Pop Tot, Gone in 60 Seconds was your choice. What did you think of the film?
Well, I'm not even going to say this is a guilty pleasure. This is a pleasure. I absolutely adore this movie. For those that know us personally, we're both car fanatics.
Yep.
This was a car lovers movie. It got like a low 20s on Rotten Tomato, but it is favorite of mine. I love this movie. I love Nic Cage. He's Nic Cage in it. You know, there's when they're listening to Low Rider and he's doing that weird thing where he's getting in the mood.
Oh,
it's
so weird.
Goofy.
Okay, let's run.
He was pretty much at the height of being an action star.
What do you say we cut the chit-chat? A-hole!
There's, like you said, there's so many people. Chi McBride.
Yep.
There's Vinnie Jones. There's Will Patton. I love Will Patton.
Yep.
You've taught this city how to trust the soul of a man rather than the look of him.
Timothy Olyphant. I forgot he was the...
Raylan Givens. Yep.
No, I'm Raylan Givens.
He trying to be funny.
A little.
Delroy Lindo.
Yep.
I mean, Robert Duvall. You have to say Robert Duvall, right?
There's 3 Oscar winners in this movie.
No, his criminal career has come to an end.
Well, his life will come to an end unless we pull this off. And how can we do it without him? It can't be done, and you know it.
There's the iconic list of 50 cars, and at the top of it is the one and only Eleanor, as everybody knows, the GT500.
The 67 Shelby Mustang GT500. The GT500.
Yeah.
And because of this stupid car, you can no longer get a junk 67 Mustang because everybody was buying them and turning them into Eleanor.
And now the one that Nic Cage gets at the end of the movie is basically what you can afford, and even then it probably costs more than a new car anyways. This movie is Ocean's 11 meets stealing cars. It is so much so that I don't know if you caught it, but in the beginning of the movie, Nic Cage is a service attendant at a gas station while also doing things with kids in go-karts or something. And
like a little go-kart racetrack.
The Remember the Titans defensive coordinator comes up and he pulls up and he walks right by Carl Reiner, who is sitting down, and I was like, holy shit, that's Carl Reiner.
I thought the guy looked like Carl Reiner.
I swear to God, that's Carl Reiner. That's not Carl Reiner. I need glasses.
Another thing people will also know is, and it was very common in the early 90s especially, is, and Bruckheimer was known for it, was this bleach bypass look.
I love it.
This tone, and it was in The Rock and Armageddon, Enemy of the State. It has this kind of richness, this contrast.
Oh, it's beautiful, yeah.
And it makes LA look a little grittier and hotter, and it just...
But it works well when the scenes with the stakeouts with Delroy Lindo, who's the police captain, lieutenant, or whatever, going after Memphis. He's his white whale, and they'll have like stakeout scenes, and they're overly blue, and it looks so cool. And this is where I miss everything shot on digital. It's on film, so there's this rich grain, this dark temperature that comes out, and it looks so good. LA's got this like yellow tint to it that's awesome. And the director of the film, his name is Dominic Sena. He would go on to do Swordfish, and this and Swordfish have a lot of similarities in terms of structure, the weirdness, and how they use music.
I don't know if you caught it, but I screenshotted it to try to get the list. And one of the cars on there is, I'm not even shitting you, is a 99 Honda Civic. And I'm trying to figure out who overseas is wanting somebody to steal a 99 Honda Civic.
Yeah,
but there's a lot of beautiful cars in there.
Yeah, cars that are 99, 98, and those cars now are classics. The Countach, you have the XJ220, my beloved Dodge Viper SRTs on there.
A lot of them obviously didn't have the screen time. Eleanor did, obviously. There was a lot of them that you just saw briefly when they were staking them out or stealing the cars.
And
very brief.
The Eleanor scene basically, sort of becomes iconic in a way, and so does that goofy ass, I love it, music. Oh, and it's like, I don't even know. I mean, we're gonna just absolutely roast us.
You definitely have to put that in there. In the production notes, Nic Cage basically demanded to do almost all of his car stunt work.
Yeah, and apparently that huge car chase, which is the last like 25 minutes of the movie, mostly was unscripted, which is crazy. I can't imagine.
Shout out to the detectives driving an E39 BMW 5 Series.
Yeah,
that is the GOAT of the 5 Series.
Yeah. Oh, shit. There's so many crazy stunts. There's a car that goes through a damn wall.
The Timothy Olyphant's character saying, "Are you okay?"
You just went through a wall.
In my headcanon, this is Raylan Givens' prequel series.
I don't mean to be rude. I didn't come to hear you preach.
Timothy Olyphant plays kind of like a little bit of a doucher, like a young doucher.
I don't ever talk about my wife.
And I know him as Raylan Givens, who's a badass, and Delroy Lindo is playing that, which, shout out to Delroy Lindo again. This is like his 4th Lost and Found movie. He's Lost and Found MVP.
It means a lot to me. This is special.
The scene where he's checking up on him in the garage, and there's I mean, another person I forgot's in this movie is Scott Conn.
Yep.
Scott Conn is one of the junior guys in the crew, and one of the junior guys stole this car, and
Stole a car that wasn't on the list. Why don't you just go to the police station in a red clown suit and let everybody know what we're doing here?
And the Oscar goes to...
heroin on the ground, and they have Delroy Lindo in the car revving it up, trying to cover up. To me, that scene is just great.
I'll catch you later.
Did you recognize the kid that stole the Eldorado, the Cadillac Eldorado? Did you recognize?
He looks familiar.
It's the kid from Independence Day. His dad was Quaid, the guy, not Dennis Quaid's brother.
Oh, right.
And he was the one that he was like trying to stop his dad from going and all that. Yeah.
Why don't you just go to the police station in a red clown suit and let everybody know what we're doing here?
There's this goofy ass scene where the dog eats the stupid.
Wait a minute. The dog ate the keys?
Yes.
The
stupid key fobs, and they have to pick through his shit. And then Michael Piana comes up, and I was like, "What the hell?"
Michael Piana, he's one of the gangsters.
Yeah, and I was.
I'm gonna throw up, dog.
And the Oscar goes to...
Critics hated it. They said the plot was nonsensical. The car chases were considered boring. I don't know that we were watching the same movie. I didn't think it was boring. And again, maybe rose-colored glasses because shit now is boring.
I've personally seen this movie probably 50 times, but I didn't feel like that 2 hours passed. I enjoyed every scene. I knew every scene that was coming up.
Right. And I think there was sort of an interesting element here that's not really explored, that Delroy Lindo's character, he's obsessed with basically getting his white whale to the point that he causes this mass destruction, and it's really his own doing. And there is a point in the movie where a detective comes in and says...
Let me tell you guys something, all right? Raymond Calitri is going down for murder 1. Boneheads. Who gives a shit about Grand Theft Auto?
I mean, at the end of the day, that's a bigger... Yeah, I'm not, like, reasoning Grand Theft Auto, but had he let them go away, people wouldn't have gotten hurt. And I think there's a point where Delroy Lindo kind of realizes that Nic Cage wasn't really ever the bad guy. And when he gets his life saved, the movie doesn't really work that well. You have to kind of make that logical leap like I did.
Put all your nuts in one basket.
But that's probably one of the biggest flaws of the movie, is the fact that Nic Cage gets away with outrunning 100 cops.
The bad guy here, Christopher Eccleston, played the Calitri, or what was like the woodworker or the carpenter or something, because he had this thing about wood. Which is, there's a funny scene with him and Nic Cage, and Nic Cage is holding a chair hostage.
No!
Yeah, he's very two-dimensional, and he wasn't even that scary of a bad guy.
Not at all.
I made this as well. My first one.
He didn't actually do anything in the movie, and then they added, for some reason, the side plot of Master P and his gang being pissed that Nic Cage was jacking cars that he wanted, and it just didn't really work for some reason.
Yeah, and that led the chase to Nic Cage and his little brother to the diner, and Nic Cage does that "I" thing, and I'm like, oh, Nick, don't do that.
Look, cop car. Long as I'm in here, you're just gonna sit out there, aren't you?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's not aged well. As far as Nic Cage goes, he's pretty restrained.
I'm getting shot at. My friends are dying. People are going to jail. I didn't like what I've become.
There's the one scene where he does the hand thing, which is kind of him
He's
purposely
getting jazzed
being
up
silly.
with the lowrider, and all the young guys are looking around like, "What the hell is happening?"
So it was purposeful, and then there's maybe another scene later on in the movie or whatever, but for the most part, this is Nic Cage really trying.
You saved my life, didn't you? So what am I gonna do?
It's your call, detective.
As usual on Lost and Found, we rate things by lost. You ignore it. You find something else to watch on Tubi if you can withstand the 32 ad breaks they have.
What?
Or found, you seek it out on a weekend watch like we did. Pop Tot, what do you think of 2000's Gone in 60 Seconds?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna tell you to watch it. I think this is a great movie.
She knew if Memphis stayed, you were gonna walk his line, you were gonna join his crew. And she told him to pick up and go, and he did.
It's a very 2000 movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's around the period of time. Like I said, the bleach bypass, you'll recognize the tone, the contrast, the cars. Nic Cage is over the top, somewhat styled back performance. The slew of character actors and major actors in this movie is astounding. And the music. And everything, it just kind of it's a Sunday afternoon. I need to reconnect mentally with my soul. I'm going to sit down and watch this movie, kind of thing.
Are you shitting me, man?
I guess I would consider this a guilty pleasure because it did get absolutely destroyed critically. It was a box office success, but I do enjoy it. I think you can 100% enjoy it.
Put all your nuts in one basket.
As not a car enthusiast as Miss Todd is, she really enjoyed it. Of course, she likes Nic Cage.
For the next 24 hours, all your decision-making privileges have been removed.
If you're wanting over-the-top Nic Cage, this is an in. I think Nic Cage is a lot. He's in like first gear. He never. I mean, he doesn't even tease second gear. But yeah, this is packed full of talent with people that are either going to be upcoming stars or already. There's 3 Oscar winners in this movie. It's competently shot. Delroy Lindo's awesome.
If you use an aerosol can in a manner other than directed, I mean, I don't care. You make one slip and I will put you away for good.
Raylan Givens is in it.
If I found that kind of money, I'd be in Mexico by now.
Boy, I've been to Mexico. I don't think you'd like it.
How so?
There's a lot of Mexicans.
Giovanni Ribisi is always a delight, even though he plays the same guy in every movie.
You don't think I know that?
Seek it out, for sure. Definitely watch this movie. But yeah, thank you guys so much for supporting as usual.
Put all your nuts in one basket.
Make sure you like the damn video. You comment. You say Aunt Vicky really liked Eleanor because her 5th child is named Eleanor. I don't care.
You're gonna argue with me?
Watch it, enjoy, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys.
I'm gonna throw up, dog.